And welcome to a new episode of the Winning with Insights podcast. My name is Mike. I am the founder of GTM Diagnostics. Today, I have a very special guest. Not only is he the host of the How to Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast, but he's also the founder of Reditus, a B2B SaaS affiliate marketplace. And what it is, Joran is going to explain a lot more about what that entails. But Joran, for now, welcome. And before we get started, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, good morning, Mike. Thank you for having me. So Joran, based in the Netherlands, founder of Reditus, an affiliate management platform purely for B2B SaaS companies, where we help them to set up, manage, and grow their affiliate program. So we have the tracking part, but we also have a network of currently 15,000 B2B SaaS affiliates who can apply to all the programs which you mentioned are in the marketplace. So that's what I'm currently doing right now.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a very interesting proposition, and I would really like to dive a little bit deeper into this. But before we go into like what Raditus is doing, for who it's there, and what kind of problems it solves, like what is a little bit that people should know about your background? Like what have you done in the past that made you actually realize that something like Raditus should exist?
Yeah. The question is, how far do we go back, I guess? But my,
Um, the moment you were able to wipe your own now let's say just the beginning of like what you would consider your professional career.
yeah. Maybe I would even like 2 seconds go into one step before, because when I was at university, or I guess like doing a bachelor's, the thing I got back from my teachers is, Joran, your English is terrible. You need to do something about it. So at that time, I was like, well, what can I do about it? Because in the Netherlands, everybody speaks Dutch and you can only learn it from the book. But I wasn't that well in reading books. So at one point, I decided, well, let's just do my internship in Australia or somewhere where they speak English. So I guess the way I work is that I just arranged an internship in Australia. I booked a flight ticket, had no place to stay, just booked a hostel for 3 days. So I flew basically to the other side of the world, and I dived myself into English. So there was no way around. I was by myself. I needed to do an internship in a company where they only speak English. So I guess that's kind of like how I go in sometimes, head first. After that, the fourth year internship did in America. So when I came back in the Netherlands, I had no business network whatsoever. So that was kind of fun. I did sports marketing, wanted to work in sports, but when you apply to all those type of companies, because for example, Nike has their headquarters in Hilversum here, you won't get through because you didn't do your internship there. You have no network. So in the end, I started working at a really corporate job called Jaarbeurs. It's almost like working for the government. Um, Finally got what I wanted after doing like 1.5 years of cold outbound outreach. So doing like 60 calls a day. Wanted to become an account manager. Got the title. After a year, I kind of got bored. I was like, oh, is this it?
Hmm.
Is this going to be my life for the next 20 years or something like that? So then I went into the startup world, where I worked for a couple of startups in the Netherlands. And then there was, at that time, it was pretty, how do you say it? Something a lot of companies would do, like this LinkedIn apply button. If you just clicked it, you would already apply to a job, which I did for a company called Leadfeeder in Finland. I had 3 Zoom calls, and before I knew it, I was in Finland working for Leadfeeder. So it was kind of a fun journey. I wasn't really looking for a job, but I ended up being there because I used the tool, loved the tool. So I just thought,
Yeah.
well, why not? And I guess at that job, I joined when there were 18 people. I left when there were 130. I started again in sales, ended up being the head of customer success. But in that journey, everybody asked me, like, this is a great tool. Which tool should I use more? And when you do 5 to 10 demos a day, you get sick of that question. So I built a website which is called salesmarketing.co, where I listed the best sales and marketing tools on there. So I grew that website organically to, I think, 25,000 organic visitors per month. And my idea was, I'm going to make money out of that website. So I always make a joke that I wanted to lay on the beach, somewhere while making money from that website. Didn't really work out. There I got introduced to affiliate marketing. So all the tools I recommended, I started to apply to our affiliate program. So when I would deliver them a paid client, I would get a kickback fee in return. But then I had so many challenges with the tools I had to join. Like I had to log into every portal separately, and I had around like 80 programs I had to log into,
Yeah.
which at one point is a hassle. So I decided to build my own platform, and that's kind of how Reditus got born.
Out of your own frustration of having to manage a lot of different affiliate programs.
Exactly.
But if we look at like, hey, a size of one is a size of none, basically. So when you got the idea to start building like the own platform, who did you talk to basically like validate your idea? And this maybe also ties a little bit into like why specifically B2B SaaS?
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea of affiliate marketing was already validated because there's quite a
Yeah,
few competitors already out there. So I guess I didn't do all the proper research you had to do because in the end, there were already competitors. So they kind of did it for me. Why B2B SaaS? Like, if you talk about affiliate marketing, I mean, if you talk about it on a birthday or if you're talking about anywhere, people are going to think like, oh, it's that shady thing
yeah,
all these people do on TikTok who earn a lot of money, who sit next to the beach or have this shiny car. Like, that's, I guess, the side where they start recommending things on Amazon or they sell courses to be successful where they aren't successful themselves. It's not how I want to present myself. So why B2B SaaS? It's longer sales cycles than just a purchase on Amazon, but it's a higher purchase and it's a recurring purchase. So B2B SaaS is higher ticket prices, higher commission, and recurring commission. So this is why I focused on that. And there's a lot of fraud checks already in place, right, with Stripe, where they would check payments. So there's a lot also easier, I guess, to manage in a sense. And it's compounding, which is, I think, the most important part.
it's compounding on both sides. You mean for
Yeah.
both the business because it's a recurring revenue, and for the affiliate partner because they get like a recurring commission.
Yeah. So the affiliate,
Um,
like if a SaaS company sets up a program, they decide how long they want to give away commission. So the minimum often is 12 months, but they could give lifetime as long as the client keeps paying them, they could keep paying commission. So for an affiliate, it's also a really attractive offer.
yeah, and there, of course, like when you're looking at B2B SaaS, there are many different like business models behind it. So it could be like a relatively low ticket, more product led without salespeople getting involved, or like a lower touch, like the different go to market motions. Um, is there like a difference between, for example, a self serve product versus a very, very high ticket, almost like change management style B2B SaaS product and everything in between?
Yeah. Yeah, so affiliate marketing will work best for the PLG kind of companies. So where you go to the website, you sign up yourself. You don't have to talk to a person to purchase the tool. That's perfect because then the sales cycles are a lot shorter. You often have a 7-day, 14-day, 30-day free trial. So within that time frame, they would always make a decision to purchase. When you go to sales-led, sales cycles are way too long, multiple stakeholders, amounts get bigger. So it's harder to track, but also affiliates often aren't willing to wait a 6 months, 12 years, or 12 years, 12 months to identify if they actually get a commission or not.
And 12 years
I
would be very,
I
very
mean,
long.
a long sales cycle. It's Friday
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a, again, like it's very niche down. So it's like B2B SaaS. And then actually, when we're looking at the whole B2B SaaS landscape, it's specifically like product led that is best, like a best fit for what you guys are doing at Ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there, oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, yeah, we might go wider later down the line, but for now, this is our niche we focus on, which is easy with the messaging, with the targeting, with
Yeah.
the qualification.
Well, I can imagine that if depending on like the desired outcome of what you expect from your affiliate program, like if it's like direct revenue, then like PLG makes a lot of sense. But you can also like now like a demo booked, for example, could be the desired outcome, and that you pay like a commission on like a demo booked, which
Yeah.
is more what like a lead generation agency often does, because they also get paid for bringing in the leads. So, but
Yeah,
a
like
whole different
the
story, I guess.
yeah, exactly. Because the reason why we don't go for that is because it's a lot more fraud sensitive. So if you're gonna give
Yeah,
away money for something you haven't received yourself yet, affiliates are gonna book demos. They're gonna do all
yeah, they
kinds of shady things, I guess, to get that up or that one-time payment. So that's why we purely do. The SaaS company needs to receive a payment, and you're only giving away an X% out of that. So customer acquisition cost is like super clear.
yeah, yeah. You take away a lot of risk
Yep.
involved with something like this. But that's maybe something we can go into like later, because there are certain like things that you have to take into consideration, of course.
Yep.
Um, is there like a specific size of business that you guys focus on? Like, do you, for example, help in finding product market fit, or is like an affiliate program best for when you're already have like a stable like base of customers, and that you already know that what you guys are like serving is valuable?
Yeah. Yeah. So when talk about serving, I guess like you can make an analogy about a restaurant. So if you're a new restaurant, you just opened up, nobody has eaten there, you don't know the service of the waiters, you don't know the quality of the food, you don't might even know what they're actually serving. Would you be willing to recommend that restaurant? Probably not. And it's the same with SaaS, right? Like if nobody knows exactly what you're doing, how you're doing, what kind of value you're delivering, they don't know your brand, would they be willing to recommend you? Probably not. Or you have to do a lot of work yourself to get them to start recommending you. So this is why, like, as your first go-to-market channel, don't do affiliate marketing unless I guess you have a really big user base or a big network who is willing to recommend you, which is often not the case. So the ideal, I guess, I first always said like 10K MRR, but I'm now coming back to it a little bit. Like we're focusing more on 1 million plus ARR, because then people have a bigger user base, more case studies, more resources, etc., to actually get it off the ground.
Uh, Yeah, I like the restaurant analogy. I think that makes a lot of sense, because if you're going to put your brand, literally like your personal brand, on the line when recommending something that is not very tasty or with a horrible service, like it's also going to hurt you. Like it's in the name, like you're affiliated to the thing that you're recommended. So,
Yeah, yeah,
hey, but like there's like this thing happening, like the nearbound partner led thing that's very becoming like more and more popular. It seems on LinkedIn at least. But what are like the differences between like an affiliate or a partner or a reseller, or maybe even like a referral? Would you put that in there
yeah,
as well? Yeah.
yeah. So I would always explain it, I guess, like you would have four different kind of channels. So you would have a referral program, an affiliate program, a partner program, and I guess like a technical program or reseller program. So when we start with referral program, it's often in-app. So think of the Dropbox example, where if you want to start inviting people, your friends to Dropbox, you didn't have to leave the app to grab a link. If I would invite you to Dropbox, we both get 10 gigabytes for free. There's no money involved. So it's in-app benefits, in-app links. So it's really targeted towards your own user base, asking them to recommend you in exchange for extra credits, extra users, extra trial, something like that. Like that's often what you see. Or the one-off example where you said like if they deliver a paid client, they would get $50, for example. But it's not
Yeah.
typically the recurring aspect which affiliate marketing has. So when we go into that, often is managed in a third-party platform because they want to do it also with people outside of their own network. So not just purely focusing on their own users. So affiliates have to sign in somewhere else. So Reditus as the example, they go in, they join the program, they grab a link from there, and they can earn a recurring commission. So again, like 12 months, 20%, for example. So purely money orientated, a bit easier to set up because you don't have to trigger those in-app benefits, because it's purely looking at how much money came in, how much do you have to give away. When you go towards like a partner channel, that's kind of where you where we talk about like the bigger organizations, higher deal cycles, longer sales cycles. That's where a partner program comes in. So think about it, where you, for example, have agencies or consultants who would match their CRM system with the CRM system of the SaaS company or any kind of company. What is in both of the systems, and can you start working together on a certain deal, for example? So you would have like different kind of needs, as in deal sharing, more insights. Here's also where the services the SaaS company has to do sometimes changes, where, for example, the agency or the consultant would actually do the implementation, or they would do the service towards the client. So it's a lot more effort from them. What you sometimes see is they don't even want money in return for it, because their goal is to make their clients successful. So I don't care sometimes that much about a recurring commission for it, but they really generally want their clients to be successful with the tools they're recommending. So they're going to be a lot more focused on the quality of the tool, making sure it actually helps their clients. And then I guess when you go one step further, then you would have technical partners. So where you would, for example, set up an integration. Like I think a good example was when I was working at Leadfeeder, they created an embed of Leadfeeder within Pipedrive. So that was a real typical technical integration, which they would set up between the two companies, and then you could purchase Leadfeeder from within Pipedrive. So that's a real something you would set up as a company on C-level and go from there.
Yeah, more like the in-app marketplaces,
Yeah,
for
for
example.
example, yeah.
Yeah. And for the reseller, agency, consultant partner, I think like the managed service providers, like most IT businesses work like this. They are a reseller, for example, for Microsoft or like Oracle stuff or Cisco stuff. I used to work as well. And then they would basically manage the services that they have basically sold to them. And then they get like a very low commission or relatively low commission on the product itself, but it's more in the service, um, like services fee that they are making their money. Yeah. Okay, that's very cool. That there are very different like models for having basically other people or other businesses sell your stuff. That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
Um, so I am a B2B SaaS business. I have a product led strategy, and I've just crossed 1 million in revenue. Why should I then start looking at affiliate marketing as an additional channel for growth? Like what should be happening within my business that you would say like, hey, like these problems or chances, like that's where you can have affiliate marketing be really impactful. Like how would that look like?
Yeah, so I think when you talk about opportunities or chances, like when people are start recommending you, when they start adding you in, for example, listing articles, they're mentioning you on social platforms, they're mentioning you in blogs, in newsletters, things like that, then there's a chance, right? Because if they're just doing it because they like you, they might do it even more when they get paid for it. Or if you get listed in a listing article, like a lot of them who rank really high are often selling the positions in the article. So it's not that the position number one is always the best tool. It's sometimes a tool which just pays the most, like either upfront or on a rev share model. So if you have people who are recommending you, then it's, I guess, time to start an affiliate program or start some kind of program where people can actually do it in exchange for money. So you can motivate them to do it even more, better, more scalable, etc.
Okay, so this is more of like, okay, so there's like an opportunity that is out there. Is there, would you tie it then back, for example, also to like like a business problem maybe. Because right now, because if you're
Gotcha.
yeah, so this is really focused on, hey, there's an opportunity there. People start recommending,
Yeah.
like double down on it, like just ride the wave, basically. But is there also like an other side to it? So, for example, internally things are happening, like certain metrics are going in a direction that you might not like, or maybe you actually do like a certain direction, so you're going to double down on it. So, I'm curious how the internal situation would like lead into starting an affiliate program.
Yeah.
That's basically more where I'm.
Yeah. Like if you now look at the go-to-market channel, for example, like paid ads, when you get to a point 1 million AR, you probably experimented a lot with paid ads. You have been able to generate a lot of signups probably from it, but then things at one point start becoming a lot more expensive, or you can't scale it as much as you want to, because at one point you're already bidding on all the keywords and all the things you can, and you can't control the search volume. So like what we see a lot is that at one point companies want to diversify also the acquisition channels, because they don't want to, for example, purely rely on paid ads or on, I guess, like outbound motions or any other kind of motions they're currently running. So when they're forecasting, they kind of want to get a new acquisition channel, which is of course low risk, with a good customer acquisition cost. And that's, I guess, like what you can check out with affiliate marketing, right? Because you know exactly how much percentage are you going to give away when a new
Yeah.
client comes in, and you define that percentage so you can make it super predictable already from the beginning. And that's where it's different than all the other channels, because now you're only paying when you receive a paid client versus putting a lot of money up front, like with SEO, paid ads, and not
Mm-hmm.
knowing 100% sure what your CAC is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the two things I've written down for myself, it's like, okay, there's like a cost component to it and a risk component, right? So there's like, you see, for example, that the acquisition costs in your paid advertisement is increasing, and basically like spending more is not resulting in getting more. That's like a red flag or
Yeah.
a lot of times in, at least in paid advertising. Then like the channel dependency risk, that's out there. So if you are basically, if you only have like one ah hangel,
Yeah.
one fishing rod into the water, like you can only catch so many fish. But if you have multiple fishing rods in the water, like chances are that at least one of them will bring in food. So it's like like mitigating risk by adding an additional channel.
Yeah, and funny, I guess, like with the fishing example, like with affiliate marketing, is almost creating a net, right? Instead of the fishing rods, like you're creating the post where you can put the net, and then you're basically creating a net, an army of people who are recommending you. So at one
Yeah.
point, like it will take also time to set up and to compound over time, but if you do it well, then you have an army of people basically recommending you. So you're almost creating a fishing net, I guess, if we're
Yeah,
keeping the
that's a
fishing
very good.
analogy.
I like it, Joran. You're very good in your analogies. Yeah. First the restaurant. Now it's very food related so far. So that's might have to think of something else. Maybe sports will come into play next.
Yeah,
So
I will try.
like super fans, for example. There's a um. Okay, so that's a very I like that analogy. So creating like the army of fishers that is spreading out a wide net, basically. Um, but can there be like some misconceptions about like affiliate marketing? Because there are, I can imagine that especially when it comes to like growth, there are so many alternatives in what you can do. Like I can double down on I can hire a new SDR, for example, or we're going to like create a new campaign on social, or we might enter a new platform like I don't know YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Like there are so many different things that you can do. Like, how would you like then position affiliate marketing as a good alternative to these other alternatives? What other options, I should say?
Yeah, I guess like first, when you talk about misconceptions, I think a lot of people think it's a quick win. It's almost like a magic bullet. Like it's perfect, right? You just give away X% for X amount of months. Like what can go wrong? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you will have to put in the work. Like you can almost compare it to SEO, as in if you don't put in the work to make this channel compound, it's not going to work out. So I guess like it's not a passive revenue channel where you would just set it up and people automatically just start referring you. That's not the case. So you will. It's the same, I guess, to come back to the restaurant. Sorry about the food again, but
That's good.
people are not going to just when they go to your restaurant leave a review when they're eating in the restaurant, even if they like it. Like they probably would only leave a review if they didn't like the food. So you will have to ask people to leave the review, and it's the same with affiliate marketing. You will have to ask people to start recommending you in exchange for money. So it's not that. What I see a lot is that companies will come to us, and this is why we're now focusing a bit more on the bigger companies, because they also think sometimes it's their way to get their first clients, which is terrible, of course. Like they haven't sold
Yeah.
themselves first before, and they're now going to ask other people to start selling for them, but they haven't figured out anything yet. So that's not the way. And then I guess like if they're a bit more mature, they think like we're a really great company, which they might are, right? But it's not that
Mm-hmm.
people are lined up to start recommending them, or they would find the affiliate program and start doing everything by themselves. Like they will need to be recruited, to be educated, and to be helped to actually get them to value. So this is a big misconception, I guess, with affiliate marketing. This is
Yeah.
why a lot of people say it doesn't work, but it's not about the channel. It's more about how you actually implement it. It's the same with paid ads, right? You can do a lot of things
Yeah.
wrong with it and then tell the platform or the channel doesn't work.
Uh, XXX insert is dead. That's nothing is dead. You just haven't been able to make it work. That's my opinion.
Exactly.
Um, okay, so let's dive into this. So we already know like okay who Reditus is for. Like it's the B2B SaaS PLG, preferably with a little bit higher, um, like a more you're a bit more mature as a business. Like you've already like established yourself as like a credible like business that people want to work with. Um, when you start seeing internally, for example, that costs of certain channels are increasing, or you want to diversify your channels, like affiliate marketing could be something that you can add to this, which is relatively low risk and relatively like predictable costs, I would say.
Yeah.
And especially when others are starting to recommend you on socials, for example, then you can definitely double down on this when they're not getting paid yet. Because then if they get paid, you're probably going to get a lot more people recommending you also. So this is like, okay, this is now, we know this, but you already said it like, hey, it's not something that you can just basically say like, hey, we now have an affiliate program and it's going to be successful. Like there are certain things that you need to do and take place to make sure that everything happens in the right way to get like the desired outcome. So maybe we can basically go through that process. Like, hey, we want to start now with an affiliate program. Joran, like, I have no idea. It sounds good. Like, you convinced me. I listened to your podcast with Mike. Like, awesome. How do I get started? Like, what is my first step that I need to do?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is, I guess, like the 10-step process we talked about, right? And I guess like
Yeah.
I will repeat myself here, but the first step is to have paid clients, to have, I guess, like, let's say that 1 million AR, it could be less, but as long as you have like a really clear ICP, social proof, people love what you're doing. Like that's the most important thing to have at the beginning, at the core.
Yes. The foundation,
Exactly. Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
You need to have customers.
Yeah.
That's already like, okay, because you're an established business, that's like a given right
Yep.
now because of who you're focusing on. Um, like, what are certain things that you maybe need to have in place to like support the affiliates that are going out there basically like promoting your stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. So when we, I guess, like talk about almost like the second step is having resources available. And it's not just, I guess, resources like, hey, here's some banners, here's some content, but compare it again to SEO, like you will need to be able to also put in the time to actually make it work. So with resources also, is there a person who can take this on and actually make it a success? If somebody's just going to do 10% of their time SEO, it's not going to work out. And it's the same here, right? Like you will need to put in the work to actually make the channel work. So do you have internal resources available to make sure you can actually set things up? And then I guess maybe even the third step already is like, have you been able to figure out your conversion rates? Like, have you been able to optimize everything as much as you can? Because if you think about it really logically, the affiliate is just going to receive a link from you. They're going to drive traffic towards your website, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to convert that traffic into paid clients. And if you haven't optimized your conversion rates from website visit to sign up and from sign up to paid client, it means is they're not going to earn any money, which means is they're probably going to stop recommending you at one point. So
Hmm.
definitely make sure that you have done everything on your side. And that's why it's always nice that if you already ran paid ads yourself first, then you cared about the conversion rates, which means
Yeah.
it's really nice that you then put this on top because you already, I guess, did the foundation there.
Hmm. That's funny. I never really considered that to be part of like your affiliate marketing. Like, well, you need to be able to actually convert them. So you need to make sure that that is already in place before you get started, because else nobody is making any money out of it.
Exactly, because it's super nice, like as in that you would only pay affiliates when they drive you paid clients, right? But if you look at it from the
Yeah.
other perspective, the affiliates start recommending you because they want to earn money. And if you're not
And then,
converting their
yeah,
traffic into paid clients, then why would they keep referring you?
yeah, yeah, that makes complete sense. Like, do you then also help them to like improve their conversion rates, or is this just something that you said like, hey, you need to make sure that this is in check before you get started?
I mean, I when we started out, I helped SaaS companies a lot, I guess, and we
Yeah.
were a marketplace, and we had a bit of the chicken egg story. We got a lot of early stage companies in. At one point, I always became a consultant. So this is
Mm-hmm.
why now we have to focus on 1 million plus ARR. It often means they already figured out, they already done it themselves. They don't need my
Yeah,
help to
fair enough.
actually tell them they need to put a button above the fold to convert traffic into sign up. So it's not that much anymore. We're helping them with this. Like what we, for example, do within the report is show them exactly like what are the conversion rates, like what is the percentage going from click to sign up to paid, etc. So that's how we help them, but not with guidance or anything like that. We're a SaaS tool, and
Mm,
I have no intention to become a consultant.
no, fair enough. And again, like because of your focus, it kind of like already like sifts itself out of the process. Yeah, and then like the next two steps were basically that you mentioned were like you need to have like a clear goal. Like you need to know where you're working towards. And then how can you basically set up like a proper goal for something that you might have no experience with? Because then it's just like a random number that you're sticking to the wall, like you just throw a dart.
Yeah, but in the end, you can break it down, right? So if you have, I guess, the conversion rates available, you know exactly, I guess, like what converts. You can kind of work it all the way from the top to the bottom. So how much traffic do you need to generate a sign up? How many signups do you need to generate one paid client?
Yeah.
And how many, I guess, like partners do you think you would need to get, I guess, to the number of paid clients you want after 6 months, for example? So you can kind of make a table for yourself. In month one, you might
Mm,
generate, let's say, 500 visits to the website. You know now how many signups you get out of it. With the sales cycle you have, you might not convert anything in month one, but only in month two. And if you just work it, I guess, down, then at one point you're able to kind of make an estimation. I mean, it's a guesstimation, maybe, especially at the beginning, but you kind of have a framework to follow. And this is like super important to have realistic goals, because people think like, hey, we're going to set up the affiliate program and we're going to get 10K MOR within the next 3 months. Again, that's not how it's going to work. Like, you will need to compound it over a longer time. And if you put in these numbers in a Google Sheet or an Excel, it makes sense. Like, you can't get 100 or 200 partners in the first month to get to the number of website visits you want. So kind of build the funnel for yourself. And then from there you can see exactly based on, I guess the thing I forgot to say is based on the average revenue per account, you know exactly how much money are you be able to make after a certain period.
Yeah. So would you then say that is there like a process in which you can start? Because you might already now have seen some programs that are working. You might have some like internal benchmarking, which can say like, hey, based on these factors, like this is a potential increase that you might see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I can also like my first thought here was like, okay, if I'm going to set like a channel specific target, like, how do I know that it's not just eating away from my other paid channels out there? Because basically they're talking to the same audience, just in via a different channel.
Yeah. Yeah. In the end, it's not that if you're going to work with affiliates that they're only targeted indeed a certain audience, which is not going to see your ads or see your other content. So it's an addition, I guess, to the mix you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Like, what we do see is that we have some clients who now get 10% of their new revenue from affiliate marketing, which is a sizable chunk, predictable cost. So they're able to do it. And I guess like to answer the other question, like how to start or how to get, I guess, first revenue is to start with your current network. So really start with the people who already know you. So like, don't make it too sophisticated. Like, hey, we need to recruit a lot of people to start recommending us. Start easy. Start with the people who already have eaten in your restaurant or watch your soccer team play,
Yeah,
and they can tell exactly how are they doing.
nice. Fair enough. Good one. We've brought in sports right now. I like that. Okay, yeah, that so now that it kind of falls into this. Would you then, if you report this back, um, is it then part of like our total like paid advertising cost, like affiliate marketing is part of this, or would you put this then? Do you see that people report this in like a different way or underneath like a different? How do you say that? Like a different topic.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. It's a good question because I don't have access to, I guess, these things, and to be honest, I haven't asked. But like, what I do see is that they report it not under paid ads. Like, they would report it as affiliate marketing as a channel itself,
Huh.
because that's how they look at it also within, for example, our tool, right, where they can see exactly how much revenue are they making via affiliate marketing, and they get all the metrics related to it. So you
Hmm.
are able to report it super specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was going there because I can imagine that if you're also doing like paid ads with and you have like certain retargeting campaigns running and like an affiliate brought like the first, for example, visit to your website, you then were retargeting them on other platforms, and it's like the entire mix of basically like the things that you do that made made them convert. But then the attribution might go to the affiliate, but it's then part of like everything else that has happened as well. But I think that's like the performance and optimization. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
um, so it's funny now that you also mentioned like, hey, start with your own network, like the people that already know you, trust you, etc. Then how do you how do we do this? Like, how do I bring them in? Say like, hey, here's Reditus, like, good luck, or how does that work?
Yeah. So, like, I guess you can always start with, first of all, adding like super simple something in your footer, like affiliate program, ambassador program, something like that. Create a page like what it actually is. How can people start promoting you? Then they would have a call to action there where they can sign up to the program. So then they would sign up to like a network like ours, for example, or a different tool where you manage your affiliate program in. From there, they would see their link. That's often the thing they see in some resources, but like almost treat it as getting a new user onboarding to your platform. You need to onboard them to make them
Yeah.
successful and to get them to value, which is in this case commission. So always set up like an email sequence like, hey, welcome to our program. Here's your affiliate link. Here are the resources available for you. Here's are some examples of what our top affiliates are doing. If you need any help, just reply to this email. Something like this could already help them to get started quickly, right? So
Yeah.
treat them as users, I guess. Help
Yeah.
them to get them to value.
And would you, or is like Reditus then like the place that they go to find the resources? Or is it not something that you offer yet?
Yeah, we do. So it's like we're a tracking platform. SaaS companies can add, I guess, like a Google Drive link, a Dropbox link with all the resources available. We chose to not embed it into our platform because it gets outdated super quickly. So we kind of want to
Yeah.
leverage the tools they're already using. Um, but then, for example, what we do is we push the data of new affiliates towards their CRM system. So most of our clients
Mm-hmm.
use HubSpot. So whenever a new affiliate comes in, you push the affiliate towards HubSpot, then you can have the affiliate link, resource URL, etc. in HubSpot, and then you can start creating these sequences also from the tools you're already using. And I think that's, yeah, in my opinion, pretty powerful because then you can just have the flows exactly how you want them. You have the same reporting, and then we can even push like the data regarding like how many or which affiliates generated referrals, paid referrals, how much money did they generate. So you can also start running sequences on the dormant affiliates or on the ones who are doing really well to figure out, I guess, if you can even motivate them more.
Is there then also like activity reporting? For example, like the numbers of like pieces of content created when with you mentioned in it, or
No. We don't go that deep because like for us, it's not about. I mean, it's of course about the content, but it's more about how many people click the link. So it's
like the
and then when
actual?
they
Yeah.
actually took the action, then of course you can check out the content, which drove it based on the referral URL.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. I'm just thinking like, hey, like, do you want if you want to like make your like affiliate successful, there you might want to also help them in like the
Yeah,
positioning or the way that they talk about you,
exactly.
if they even talk about you. Because if it's, again, like if it's not working for them, the other way around for affiliates, this is also like a channel to make money, and they can say like, yeah, affiliate marketing doesn't work. Well, no, you like talking about the product in a wrong way that is not helping you convert.
Yeah,
So it's like the two-way street here again.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like one thing here, like if you look at, for example, partner marketing. So if we go one step higher, I guess again, like what
yeah,
they kind of say there is that if you get in a new partner, the first three deals, you kind of have to just sell it for them. The
yeah,
next three deals you have to sell together. And then the next three deals, you're kind of just a spectator and watching them to sell. And with affiliate marketing, you're going to have a lot more volume, a lot more affiliates. So it's not doable to do something like this, right? But you could help them as much as possible to get them at least to their first commission. So if you want them to write a blog article for them. If you want them to add you to their listing blog article, I write the content for them. If you want them to add you somewhere, provide them the content or the things needed to actually get it done. So yes, you're kind of doing their work for them, but if you
yeah,
show them that they actually can make money out of it, then the next time they will do it themselves.
yeah. It's incentivizing people is always work, like also in sales. Like,
Yeah.
hey, sell stuff, make money. Like
Yeah.
that's just how a lot of people work. Yeah. Okay, so then like how do you like you've said like a couple of times already that you're the marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can find the right affiliates for you and affiliates can find the right like companies to sell. But how do you know which like affiliate would basically suit you best? Or as an affiliate, how would I know which company is like something that I can promote that is in line with my brand? How do you help them be successful in that, in the like the recruitment step?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at affiliates or people recommending you, like the most important thing they need to have is access to your ICP, right? So, and ideally in bulk. So, you want to get information from them to identify, is that actual the case? So, I mean, what we started with and what a lot of platforms are doing is just asking textual information from the affiliates. So Mike would apply to my program. He just has to answer a couple of questions. And then based on his answers, I have to define and we're going to accept Mike or not. Maybe you're trustworthy, maybe you're not. There's a lot of
I
people,
hope.
I guess, which are not, because I've seen the most crazy requests coming in that people say that they own G2 or that they own Capterra or things like that, because you can kind of fill out anything when it's textual. So like what we started doing is, for example, allowing the affiliates to connect Google Analytics or YouTube. So then you kind of have two extra things. You know that they own the channel they say they have, which is super
Hmm.
important. But maybe even more important is, do they have the audience you're looking for? So do they have the audience in, for example, the US, if you're looking for US traffic? And then like we're now taking it even a couple of steps further. We're allowing the affiliates to create profiles where they can indicate like, hey, I'm interested in these industries. I have this traffic because I connected GA. We're now adding network data to it. So did Mike actually already generate paid clients for other SaaS companies within the network? So you can start validating, I guess, Mike on first party data, either from what the
Yeah.
affiliate filled out themselves, from the GA or the YouTube. Gonna add LinkedIn soon, but their API is a complete hassle to work with. Or with the network data, like did Mike actually
Yeah.
sold something?
The LinkedIn. Okay, you can now, I believe, as like a European user, like they are like it's mandatory for them for you to like be able to like export all your contacts and information. So
Yeah.
I did that recently, and it's a very big CSV file which you then get, and it's a lot more a lot bigger for you even. I can imagine that certain people are going to be very overwhelmed with the amount of information that they can extract from LinkedIn. Um, and the ICP access then still for me is like a question mark.
Hmm.
Like you're trying to mitigate the risk with like, hey, like is this person actually who they say they are based on like, do you own the channel? Show me basically the traffic based on like Google Analytics, YouTube, etc. But how do I know the ICP access? Because for me, as I think about this, like this is for me the most important. Like not only like how big is your reach, but how penetrated are you within my ICP?
Yeah.
And then maybe even like the different personas as well. How do you handle it?
Yeah. So um, if I mean, if you started with your own user base, you kind of know these people. So I guess this is more a question when you start actively recruiting affiliates or they come to you.
Yeah.
Um, like I always think if you want to get the people with the highest access to your ICP, you kind of have to recruit them. So if you would go on
Mm.
LinkedIn, like for example, now I'm recruiting a couple of affiliates for one of our clients, Miro, where I can easily check, I guess, LinkedIn profiles. Like, do they have a certain number of connections? Everybody has their LinkedIn profile. Like, hey, I'm a GTM advisor for SaaS companies, for example, where you can see exactly, well, they're focusing on SaaS companies. They're probably focusing on the founder. We're now working with a couple of newsletters where they have a really specific newsletter, like the GTM tactics for SaaS companies, for example. So you know exactly what their target audience is. So if you, I guess, are going to find out like who has access to my ICP, try to figure out where is your ICP getting their information from, like which newsletters are they subscribed to, which publishers are they looking at, which influencers are they following. So kind of turn it around. And then from there, you kind of already have your answer, like the people you want to start working with.
Yeah, and I never like self-recruit the people that you want to work with. And then this also then ties back into like you need to have the resources available to make this successful because it does require work.
Exactly. But if you do put
Yeah,
in this work and you go towards, like, I guess, for the high quality ones, then not everybody's going to say yes because not everybody wants
yeah,
to work on this model. But if you do find a couple who are willing to work on the model, and maybe even like a hybrid deal where you give them some upfront money to put in the work and then some
yeah.
commission back, then you are going to make some quick wins because they already have an audience they can tap into.
I can imagine that you're also going to have like different tiers of affiliates.
Yeah.
Like you have your tier one, it's like almost your uh, account based, affiliate based, like account based almost. Like it's very dedicated. Like I really want to have like these two, three, four people that I want to work with. They get a different offer because of like ICP penetration, the amount of reach that they have, the amount of trust, authority. I don't know, whatever you're taking into consideration. Like they get a different offer than, for example, people that have a LinkedIn following anywhere between like 20 to 40K, or like even the lower tiers that's basically open for almost everyone that has like a 5 to 20K following, for example, or YouTube, or like certain amount of traffic. You can have like different metrics that you would then say like, hey, if you have these metrics, you fall into this bucket.
Yeah,
And then,
I wouldn't even look at number of followers though. Like if you look at, like now I'm of course in with a lot of people who have like user generated content on LinkedIn and they talk about, I guess, like the output or at least the result
mhm,
from it. And they sometimes say like if somebody has 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, it doesn't mean that they're actually going to generate more results than somebody who has 5K. So it really depends, I guess, like the people
yeah,
within that person's network. So if I would tier them, and the way we do it, for example, in our system is like how much paid clients are they generating for a SaaS company? And based on the number of paid clients, you move them up a tier. So it's really about the results
ah,
rather than the begin metrics. So, I mean, people think often
yeah,
like their network is doing the greatest, has the most engagement, things like that. But I would just look at what is the actual outcome and put them into a
based
higher
on
tier
this.
based on the outcome.
At least I got the tiering right.
Yeah,
But then, like, yeah, can take it in a different way. Like, hey, look at the results, and based on that, like, offer more. And then, like, the offer in itself, like, because you've already mentioned, like, hey, you can pay them a little bit upfront to start promoting you. Um, you can have like an ongoing, like a lifetime, or like 12 months, or anything in between, because you create this yourself. How do you then create a compelling offer that people are actually excited about, like working towards?
yeah. Yeah, so um, what I would recommend is just maybe go to our site and go to the like the Reditus marketplace and then click on any of the tiles and notice like this little calculator we have on the site. So what it starts with, right, is not the percentage, but it's the average revenue per account. So how much is on average a client paying you? So this is the begin value. Based on the begin value, you can actually calculate how much money will I be earning if I get 20% for 12 months or 24 months or 36 months. So um, put in, I guess, like your average revenue per account, then add the commissions, so let's say 10 paid clients, and then you can figure out how much money can an affiliate earn when they start referring me. And often you already have your answer, as in, would I recommend myself if I would get this amount of money?
Yeah.
And I guess like what we see a lot is that the more early stage a company is, the more they give away, either percentage wise or length wise. Because like the affiliates have to do a lot more heavy lifting, right? If you're more early
Yeah.
stage, less well known. Like it's, for example, what SEMrush did at the beginning. They gave away 40% lifetime, and now they changed their affiliate structure to a lot more limiting things, just because yeah, everybody knows them
Yeah.
now already.
Hmm. So it's not like a one size fits all. It's always depends on how much are you actually making, how much is required from the affiliates to be successful, depending on like the stage that you're in, the maybe even competition, maybe even like how well people can already find you. There are a lot of factors that go into like the conversions, basically.
Yeah.
And then you can say like, hey, are like a litmus test is basically like, hey, would you be willing to promote it if this is what you're going to get for it? Like, what does your gut say? And then once your gut is telling you like yes or no, then you can basically get started and then optimize the program over time, I guess, because it changes like with SEMrush. Like a 40% lifetime deal for SEMrush. That's, I guess, a pretty good affiliate deal.
Yeah. 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 You won't get
That's,
that anymore right now.
I can imagine. Yeah. Um, so then basically we go into like, after you've, like, the offer is there, you have found the right people that you are going to work with. They said like, yeah, Joran, awesome. I want to work with you. I want to promote Reditus to everybody because like we're both gonna win from this deal basically. You already mentioned like, hey, once they are in, there needs to be like this an onboarding,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to help them get started. Need to help them get activated basically. So any best practices here, maybe, or maybe like a very cool example that you've seen where somebody has done like a very unique like activation for their affiliates.
Yeah. I mean, one we're working on right now, and I'm just thinking in my head, can I name names? But I think I can. So I, I mentioned we have Miro, for example, in the marketplace, right? So whiteboarding tool, a lot of people
Yeah.
use it for sketching out things, or they're leveraging the templates which are already within Miro, which is called the Miroverse. And we're now working with a couple of bigger people. Like one is like Wes Bush. He wrote a book about product-led growth. He has
Yep.
a lot of great materials, which he had a bit scattered in different kind of tools. We're now actually pushing a template into Miro. We're going to add it into the Miroverse. So he can be found by his template. So he's basically sharing his knowledge about product-led growth and providing a free template for everybody to use. What we could do is we could add an affiliate link towards his template on the Miroverse and then push it out in his newsletter, for example, or create a LinkedIn newsletter about it. So we're now basically doing these kind of things where it's really value led. So people get something for
Mm-hmm.
free. They can just grab the template. But if they then want to start working with the template and want to start using Miro, they will convert into a paid client. So these things work really well, just because it's value led. You're actually giving something to somebody, and then if they like it, you will earn a commission in return.
I like that one because it goes back to like knowing your conversions. Like if you have like certain steps that convert really well, you don't have to basically push your affiliate towards the last step, but maybe you look be like, hey, let's get started by pushing them to like one step below that. Because we see that if they take this step, like the chances of them converting are really high,
Yeah,
which then also increases the chances of you making the most money.
yeah.
Ah,
It's see, for example. I mean, they're not a client of ours, but it's see what you see a lot with Clay nowadays, right? Like it's a hype on LinkedIn.
uh,
What a lot of people do is they share their templates or they share their knowledge, and
yeah,
not all of them are affiliates. So this is also, some of them are paid upfront, but
yeah.
the idea is working really well. Like, how do you actually leverage a tool to get to the value you want to get out of the tool? And then if you add a link, which is an affiliate link towards the tool, then people will try to copy your template and get the same value out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny with Clay. Um, I don't know. I've been playing around with it, and there's so many people like, "Hey, use this code to get like free Clay credits." I think I could basically have like a lifetime of Clay running Clay workflows based on all the free credits that are out there right now.
Yeah, but
Um,
I don't know about the technical implementation, but I can imagine they would only allow you to add one code into the.
yeah, it's I know, but still. Uh, of course you go there, but no, it's for me. I think it's funny. I think it's also a very, very good example of like, hey, look, like they've been around forever, basically, and recently they've got a lot of attention by leveraging the networks of others and the reach of others, and everybody knows them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And
it's within the SaaS world, like everybody knows them. They've done a very good job with this in different ways, like the Claygencies, stuff like that. It's very smart use of using other people basically to promote your stuff.
exactly.
Um, yeah, then like once you get started, like you want to have like this iterative process, right? You want to make sure that it becomes better and better over time. Like you already said, like based on results, you might want to like push certain affiliates into a different offer, or you want to help them become more successful. What are like certain metrics that we're looking at to make sure that we're up we're the most best position to optimize the affiliate program?
Mm. I mean, if you look at the metrics, I think it's pretty straightforward. Like it's going to be, of course, clicks, referrals, paid referrals, and commission generated. And then you're going to look at, I guess, like the things happening in between, like the percentages. So who's doing, I guess, better. So you can kind of then look at like what are they doing well. So why are they converting a lot more percentage wise visits into signups and signups into paid clients? So I would, I guess, start there, like look at those kind of metrics, and then what are they doing and how can you replicate that? So it's almost like building best practices or customer case studies on your website, but then doing it for affiliates. So this is how Mike generated X amount of revenue in Y time by doing XYZ. So it could be indeed how did Mike generate 10K in 6 months by sharing his go-to-market template on Miro, for example.
Uh, Would you then also say that because like there's like this trend happening now where you're trying to bring in customers in your sales cycle that are basically promoting you towards like a prospect instead of like a customer case or use case, business case, whatever, you're actually connecting like a current customer with a potential customer.
Yeah.
Do you see this working for affiliates where you're having like a potential, like maybe more like higher, how do you say that, profile affiliate that you want to bring in, that you would connect them to some of these more successful affiliates that you already have?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I mean, there's even a term for this where an affiliate would get paid if they bring in another affiliate. It's
Oh,
called,
multi-level
yeah,
marketing.
I tried to stay away from this so far. So when you
Yeah.
ask this question, like I say, where is this going? Like, it's something we won't do, just also because we're a network, which makes it a bit more
Yeah.
trickier. Um, but indeed, like the multi-level marketing is something they, uh,
That's, I haven't thought about it.
yeah,
This. Yeah, you're actually then like incentivizing others to bring in more
yeah. So you're
people
basically
to
creating
promote.
an army for an army. Um,
Yeah. I can imagine that almost like if you were to run a affiliate model for Reditus, like this is almost what's happening, right?
uh, I mean, like we're growing the network a bit differently, just because like the SaaS companies are inviting their own affiliates, so they're actually
Yeah.
helping us to be successful in a way.
Ah, that's nice.
So if we, and this is why our ICP is super important, like if we keep targeting, I guess, the right type of clients, it means that they have the user base which they can invite to our affiliate program, where they can also then see all the other programs in the marketplace. So the more we keep focused on our own ICP, the bigger the network becomes. And yeah, we won't incentivize, I mean, right now, anyone to get new affiliates into our to our
Okay.
platform, because
Yeah.
it's super indirect money for us.
Yeah, it's like that's the main thing where I'm looking at this. Like, for me, the process is clear, by the way, Jordan. You've explained it very well. Like, you need to make sure that there's like a foundation in place, that you know your numbers, you know who you're serving, etc., and then start with your own network, your own user base. Then basically make sure that you have a good offer, which is compelling enough for them to actually get started. Help them with activation. So make sure that you have the right resources and in place that allow your affiliate program to become successful. And then just follow those same metrics for optimization and be very active again in helping be successful. But then because it's like a marketplace model, you need to make sure that both like the demand and the how do you say that the offering is very well like matched
Yeah.
and is of high enough quality to make you actually want to pay for this as well.
Yeah, that was our
And
chicken egg story. Like that took a while,
yeah,
us a while to get right because you can't get a big client in from the beginning. So we had to focus more, I guess, on the earlier stage companies to get them in. And now we're working with a lot more established companies, which makes it also easier to get in affiliates, which also will make it more easy to get bigger companies in again. So it's like company wise, we're now getting at a comfortable point where it's a lot easier to get the bigger companies in because there are already other
yeah,
bigger companies and there are a lot more affiliates who are willing to recommend them.
yeah. It's like you've built the trust.
Yeah.
You've now been able to show success. So it always comes back down to like the value equation. There's we want to achieve something like a desired outcome. Like what is the risk involved with this, and how likely are you? Like, do we actually trust you to provide this outcome? And then based on like time to value, the amount of effort that we have to put in, and the amount of money that we have to spend, like it's like the big ass value equation. And then like the higher the trust is, for example, and the lower the risk, then it becomes more easy basically to like see the value of something.
Yeah.
Um, cool. He- Thank you so much, Joe. This is for me it become a bit more clear now what like affiliate marketing is and how you're actually able to make sure that it's successful. Also what it's not. Like for example, like a referral for me, like it felt a little bit similar to affiliate marketing, but it's more of like an in-app one-off thing.
Yeah.
And affiliate marketing, it's a bit more, how do you say that? Like you're a bit more connected to the brand almost. Um, and then
Yeah, but and I guess I mean I explained it in a really I guess like straightforward way. In practice, you will see that things are a bit more interconnected. That sometimes people would have a recurring commission within the app in their in their referral program.
uh,
So I guess I explained it in a very linear way, but there's a lot of variations to actually
yeah,
get it set up.
fair enough. If people want to know more about like the intricate details and nuances of having other people sell your stuff, they should just go to you. Um, yeah, I think it's really interesting. I've written a lot of stuff down. Um, I can see where like the fine line between becoming like a reseller or an affiliate is something for a lot of consultants or agencies that they can make like certain considerations. We promote this, but we might sell this like these products, and then we promote like a certain how do you say that like second level of software. So let's say I implement a CRM, but I'm affiliated to like a data enrichment or like outreach stuff. So I can see how that would work also really well. Um, yeah, that's really. Hey Yora, if people want to get in touch with you, like you are very easy to find, to be honest. So I don't really have to like explain this, but what is like your preferred channel to get in contact with?
I would say LinkedIn. Like there's only one
Yeah.
Joran Hofman. I think that's
Oh,
actually true. So you could just type in my name and then you'll find me in a blue hoodie on LinkedIn right away.
yeah, awesome. And I'm gonna make sure that the all the links are in the show notes so that people can really easily find you. Hey, and as a one final question, it has nothing to do with affiliate marketing, or maybe it does. It's the thing that I ask basically everybody that's on the, and it's like a one question in like two parts. If you were to be able to step into a time machine and go back in time to young Joran, like small Joran with his maybe light blue hood back, uh, and tell young Joran like, hey, like you're about to start on this great big like entrepreneurial adventure, and this is one thing that you have to keep on doing, but this is one thing that you have to ditch immediately. Like, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, well, let's start with the easy one. Ditch. I think like social media. I think it's a huge distraction besides
Oh.
LinkedIn, I guess, because it's business related. But um, it's a super distraction, right? I think like I deleted my apps a while back, like Instagram, Facebook, things like that. So you don't get keep scrolling on your phone all the time. So ditch that because there's no real use in it. What you should be keep doing, I guess. I mean, leverage the compounding effect of things, right? Like either learning, building your network, um, growing your revenue. Like things don't come overnight, but if you start early and you just keep consistent on doing something, then you will get success out of it. And like I think that's, I mean, I have been doing lately where it's the same with the podcast, for example, what you're doing, right? Like if you want to get success out of it, if you stay consistent, it will grow over time. But if you stop doing it at one point, it won't.
Right.
So, and it's the
Yeah.
same with learning everything about SaaS or everything about, or growing my network, for example, stay consistent. And I guess the earlier you start, the better. So I guess if I would know this, but I wouldn't know, of course, where I would end up right now. But if you would start building, I guess, your network, your knowledge, day by day, week by
Yeah.
week, it will compound over time.
I like that one. It's funny. Like a lot of people tell this. Like focus is one. So it's like the distraction, focus, picking one thing, sticking to it. Um, and the compounding effect is something that is certain. They've used different words. For example, like building your audience earlier, um, because your audience compounds, and then like keep learning, doing things because your knowledge compounds. I like that. Like the compound, like focus on a compounding effect, and then yeah, it's a good one. Thanks. Um, hey Joran, thank you so much for sharing your story here today. I hope you had a lot of fun. For the people that are listening, like if you are a person with a lot of reach and you want to maybe like convert that reach into money, check out Reditus and see if there are any like businesses that you want to become affiliated with. If you are a business owner or somebody within marketing and you're looking to like reduce a little bit of risk and diversifying channels, or you might want to just hop on the affiliate wave and ride that one for as long as possible and make hopefully a lot of very predictable revenue and with predictable cost to it. Check out Reditus as well. And for now, thank you all so much for listening and next episode. Joran, thank you.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
Mike.